Alright, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. Finally, well, I say finally, this fight hasn't been officially signed yet, but it looks like TYSON FURY and Olexander Usyk are going to get it on April the 29th at Wembley. Still waiting for the signatures to be done, but the agreement's been done. TYSON FURY's already out running, training, talking about how he's gonna, I forgot what he said, but he referred to Usyk being sneaky, and he was basically going to put one on him and beat him up and stuff like that. So this is great news. It's an undisputed heavyweight title fight we've been waiting for. Another amazing bit of news for boxing. It also looks like I don't want to jinx it, the Haney-Lomachenko fight, another undisputed fight, is about to get made. When was the last time you had two undisputed fights get made in a couple of weeks? Hopefully they can both get these over the line. I know I tend to put these videos out a tiny bit early, but they always come through. So amazing news. This is what we want. Boxing is flying right now. TYSON FURY with he's the WBC champion. Alexander Usyk has the other three belts: IBF, WBO, WBA. Putting it on the line, both undefeated for all the marbles. Baddest dude on the planet. Undisputed heavyweight champ. The last time that happened was Lennox Lewis, and I cannot wait for this. I think it's going to be a complicated fight. I haven't really talked about the negotiations because I'm not very good at it. To be honest with you, it's not my strong point, deciphering through the negotiations, and he said this team said that. I am terrible at that, so I'll leave that to my brother Hatman and my brother Chris Andre. They are the experts at that. So I just like to sit back. When it's done, I'll jump in and go, okay, this is happening now. This is great. So in terms of the fight, I was watching a little bit of footage this morning just to kind of remind myself a little bit about what these fighters have done and stuff like that. And I did a little bit of digging, and I pulled up some interesting stats on Fury against Southpaws. All right, so the biggest thing for me with pertaining to this fight, and this isn't going to be a big detailed fight breakdown, but just going to touch on it quickly, is, Fury's jab is going to be a key factor for me against Usyk. Now, landing a jab against the southpaw is not an easy thing. You really have to know what you're doing if you really want to land it at a decent high percentage. It's very rare you get a fighter that can do that. Fury's not one of them against southpaws, because when you have an up jab like Fury does, you're already at a disadvantage in terms of trajectory because the jab is coming up. I made a video about this a few months back, and I touched on it then, because Fury tends to flick with his jab a little bit. He doesn't shoot it as flashy and hard as your typical up jab. He's obviously trying to set up other punches with it and trying to kind of snake charm a little bit and blind his opponent, and then maybe throw a feint left hook and come in with the right hand. But nonetheless, his landing accuracy is quite low. If you're just looking at the facts, against Otto Wallin, it was something like 18%. And if you watch that fight, he definitely had a little issue landing that jab, because again, it was Wallin had that high guard up like this, and the jab comes from up here, and like I said, Fury's is a little bit lazier deliberately. So this isn't necessarily a true reflection. I'm just pointing out what I thought was interesting. And he definitely had issues landing that jab against TYSON FURY. This might shock you. I know TYSON FURY's not a particularly great fighter, and I know Fury was coming back off of the layoff. I can't remember if that was his first fight back or if it was the Pianetta guy. But against TYSON FURY, if I got that name right, TYSON FURY landed 1.8% of his jabs, and TYSON FURY's a southpaw. He threw something like 300 and something. Now again, this isn't the most accurate reflection, but you can't ignore that either. Again, all the factors that I've mentioned about him coming back, all this stuff, but it was a shockingly alarming figure when it popped out at me. I was like, wow, 1.8%. Okay. He also fought another southpaw, Joey Abel, a few years back. That might have been right before the Klitschko fight or just after, one of the two. But nonetheless, he was a southpaw. His jab was looking actually okay in that fight, to be fair, against him. So, but typically, if you look at the percentages, they are far lower than when he's fighting an orthodox fighter, and that's not totally uncommon, but the 1.8% was shocking. And it's just the way he throws his up jab as well, I think, for me, is going to be an issue in the Usyk fight, on top of Usyk's foot speed and, you know, his feinting and head movement. That's what Steve Cunningham was doing. And to Tyson Fury's own admission, Steve Cunningham was his toughest fight. He said that on the Joe Rogan podcast. So, you know, he called him a slippery eel, and, you know, he's already referred to Usyk as sneaky. So I think Fury understands what he's obviously, he understands what he's in here. People think that, or people have said that, you know, he got his bluff called. Perhaps with the 70-30, you know, that's a pretty low 30% to Usyk, but fair play to Usyk for calling him out on that. You could say that, but you could also say, well, Tyson Fury's driven a very good bargain here and got an absolutely ginormous amount of money, which, you know, he's getting his worth. So did he want the fight? If you look at it from an outside looking in and you being objective, it didn't seem like he really wanted it like that. But is he scared of Usyk? Of course he's not. He's gonna look to do a job on Usyk big time. But nonetheless, it does make for an interesting fight, and I don't personally think Fury's going to be able to just outbox Usyk. I think he's going to have to, and I thought that initially, to be honest with you, but after watching and hearing about some of the stats and the issues he's had with Steve Cunningham and the foot speed and the feinting and the head movement and, like, you know, the slipperiness, I think he could have a bit of a nightmare with Usyk at times. So the question is, you know, is he going to press forward and maul him and try to bully him and stuff like that? And the other question is, will Usyk allow him to do that? Will he be quick enough to maneuver and get away from that? He seemed to be doing a pretty good job against AJ of getting out of any, like, tight situations, although there weren't that many, but one or two Usyk knew what was coming, and he's gonna know this, so they're gonna plan for this, so it makes it intriguing. And both guys find a way to win no matter what. They haven't lost, and they've always found a way to win, you know, through adversity, through, you know, just sheer grit, through skill, through whatever. They find a way to win. This is what special fighters do. Both these guys are special. This is a special fight, and, you know, we're just very lucky. We should be grateful we're getting these fights. It's amazing to be in a boxing fan right now. I think we're having I'll keep saying it, we're having a great season, and we're going to get these undisputed fights. I'm telling you, Better Biev and Bivol the next one down. Then Spence and Crawford are going to be thinking, wow, man, everybody's getting their undisputed fights on. We should get that on, especially if they see how successful they're going to be. And yeah, we just got to support it, you know, support it, spread the word, and just enjoy boxing at its finest, because that's what we want, the best fighting the best. And in terms of, like, preparation, I was thinking about this. Usyk, I think you would say, coming off the back of 24 rounds with, at the time, you know, AJ was number 1, 2, whatever you want to say, at the time of the first fight. Obviously he slowly went down, but he's still fighting a top 4 or 5 fighter in the heavyweight division back to back for 24 rounds. That's good preparation. You know, obviously Fury coming off a pretty hard fight against Wilder, although he came out victorious, and he took some heavy shots. He got dropped hard twice, or at least hard once, and then he fought Derek Chisora. So I think you'd give the edge to Usyk on that. But nonetheless, it only matters really when they're in the ring, and it's all just interesting to see what's going to happen and see where the mind games kick in, because both these guys are geniuses when it comes to the mentality and, you know, the trickery pre-fight. Especially, well, they're both great, but I don't think you can get to Usyk, and I think Fury knows that. I will be interested to see what kind of tricks he's got up his sleeve, because you could say, well, you know, because Usyk's already, you know, called his bluff. If you're gonna think that he has, and I think it's possible, you could give him the edge on that in the pre-fight mental games. You could, but, you know, I'm just in it for the boxing. I can't wait for this fight. Awesome. April 29th. Hopefully it'll get signed. I'm acting like this is absolutely going ahead. I just like to put that positive energy out there, because these fights are going to go ahead. April 29th, Wembley. Let's get the fight signed. And yeah, that's it from me, Boxing on the Edge. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I've got loads of videos coming. And yeah, that's it from me. Take care of yourself.
Boxing
on the edge.